Well, you have to look at the reward. If anytime that you're looking at an idol, and this is how I feel, is that you have to look at the reward. And if you can't live without the reward, that's an idol.
That's good.
And so if you're going through and you're like, I can't live without that money. I can't live without that drink. I can't live without, fill in the
Hmm.
blank. I can't live without serving because it's not always, like you said earlier, it's not always a bad thing that we would deem
Right.
bad as an idol. So if you can't live without that reward, then that's something that you've turned into an idol.
Welcome to Real Man Talk, discussing the tough issues facing men and their families every day. Here's Anthony Kernot and Carla Sau.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Real Men Talk. I'm so excited to be back in the studio. As you can tell, Kyler is back with us.
Yes.
And
Finally.
we are so excited for him to be back in the studio. I almost said office. Back in the
Close
studio.
enough.
It really is.
Daily grind here.
Yeah. And so Kyler, everything's so everybody knows you've had a baby.
Yeah.
The last episode we didn't know the gender yet. So if you want to reveal the gender to everybody.
It's finally another boy. Thank the Lord.
Yeah.
Love all my girls, but I'm glad there's another boy in the mix. For anybody who doesn't know, I got 4 girls and 2 boys now. So we're closer to even it out, but we are done. This is it. Number 6 finished. We've done taken whatever we needed to do to make sure this was the last one. So we're good. We are done. But
That's
yes.
exciting. Well, I'm excited to have you back, and I'm sure everybody else, all the listeners, are going to be excited to have you back also. And so we're glad that the baby is healthy, mommy is healthy, and daddy's mental health is
on the incline. On the incline.
On the incline. And so he finally caught up with me. It was a life goal of his. He didn't know that, but it was a life goal.
It's a friendly competition. Now we're tied, so we're good.
So, yeah, between the two of us, we can almost start a football team.
We could. I think some of my kids could tackle. Telling you. But no, It's exciting. It's definitely a change going from 5 to 6, but it's not bad.
Well, I would imagine that it would be a change just to have an infant again.
Yeah, it's more of a you're on your guard all the time because every little one wants to hold him.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, you put her back. He's not a doll. Put him back. Stop picking him up by his neck. He's okay. Please don't do that. Oh yeah, and then you got his older.
Because the thing is, so mine are all spread out enough that when we had number 6, all the rest of them were old enough to help.
Right.
Yours isn't quite that way. How old is your oldest?
5.
So you've got 6 kids, 5 and under.
5, 4, 2. The twins are 1, and then this one.
You are a glutton for punishment.
Listen, when I'm out of diapers, I'm out of diapers. That's all I'm saying. They may be closed, but when we're finished with one phase, we're all finished with one phase. I'm not starting with the 20-year-old and going back to a baby now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think I can do that. No. I did tell Lacey, I was like, listen, I don't know what it is about this one, but I'm tired more. And I looked at her and said, it's because we're older. That's really what it is. We're older.
Yeah. Let's see. Maverick's 5. So I was 38?
Gosh,
Maverick?
I don't know.
Yeah. Dude, I was like a walking zombie for a while.
I bet. It's different. Our first one we had at 27, and now I'm 33, and I'm like, God, how did I do it back then? I'd stay up all night. It'd be fine. We'll go to work the next day and come back home, do it all again, repeat. Yeah. Now, but no, it's all a blessing, though. Yes. All of it is.
Yes, it's awesome. And so we're excited to be back in this. So the last episode the two of us recorded was part 1 of Idols in a Men's Life.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to continue with part 2 of this. I know we don't normally do them like this, but with the holidays and the baby and all this stuff, it just kind of happened this way. It'll be all right. If you want to go back and listen to part 1, you'll need to go back a few episodes and listen to that. In between, we had a couple of guests, and we had the Christmas episode, we had the New Year's episode, all that good stuff. And so about 4 or 5 episodes back, you'll find part number 1. And I would encourage you to go back and listen to that. But today, I really think, and it's interesting that we ended up here at the beginning of a year.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think about this until last night, whenever I was studying for this and all that stuff. But it's very interesting that we ended up at this episode at the beginning of a new year. Here we are. This will be when this releases. It'll be the second week of January or so, and it is something that we should consistently think about, because the idols that we have in our lives are not always sin,
Right.
They're not always sin. They're not always things that people look at negatively, right? People that things that you have to hide,
Yes.
right? Sometimes there are things that everybody else deems as normal,
Right.
And we've talked about this a lot in throughout the years of this, but
Mm-hmm.
it's worth repeating. And that is, people even make work an idol.
Yeah.
The amount of people that I know, that amount of men that I know that make work an idol, make money an idol.
Yeah.
That consistently, that's all they think about.
Right.
How can I, and we justify these idols by saying, well, we're trying to support our kids. We're trying to support, all this. As a matter of fact, the guy that we had on last week, Donnie, this was an idol he had,
Right.
just working all of the time. And, for many reasons, sometimes it's because, let's be real honest, we live in 2026. Everything's flipping expensive, right? So you can feel. I can see. Yeah,
same formula can used to be $20. Now it's 40. Just saying. We've doubled formula.
Yeah, and I can only imagine raising a baby today.
Gosh.
Diapers and wipes and formula and all the necessities that you need to raise a baby. I mean, it's been, like I said, Maverick's 5 years old. And
but for you, food's probably ridiculous.
It is ridiculous.
Gosh.
Luckily, my kids are moving out now, so
feed yourself. See you later.
That's right.
Everybody else, you're rationed. This is all you get. We are meal prepping, and that's all you're going to get. Lord,
we definitely do not eat out nearly as much as we used to.
You can't.
No,
there's no way.
It's just not just not smart. I mean, everything's so expensive. But so the reason why I bring that up is because I can understand why somebody feels the need, why a man feels the need to work a lot of extra overtime, a lot of a couple extra jobs, all these things. I can understand that, and in seasons, that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? I mean, let's be really fair. There are seasons where you have to work overtime.
Exactly. Yes.
There are seasons where you do have to pull a couple extra jobs, especially if you have as many kids as we do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember multiple times, my oldest is 21, multiple times over the last 21 years where I've had to beg for overtime to find extra jobs on the side, all of these different things. But there's a difference between making it an idol,
right,
and filling a need.
Yes. Well, you have to look at the reward. If anytime that you're looking at an idol, and this is how I feel, is that you have to look at the reward. And if you can't live without the reward, that's an idol.
That's good.
And so if you're going through and you're like, I can't live without that money. I can't live without that drink. I can't live without, fill in the blank. I can't live without serving, because it's not always, like you said earlier, it's not always a bad thing that we would deem bad as an idol. So if you can't live without that reward, then that's something that you've turned into an idol. If you can't say, okay, we're good, then that's an issue, because our idols, I mean, I guess going back to it, they're not bad things, but sometimes we put them in such a pedestal that it takes all of our attention, it takes all of our affection, it takes all of our allegiance away from other things. And that's when it turns into an issue, is when we can't live without it. And that's the issue. That's when it becomes more of an addiction than it is anything else.
Yeah.
It's we are so drawn to it that we need it. We need that reward, and we've then now made it an idol. So,
I'm gonna stay there for just a minute because I've never thought about it like that. That's a good point. Because we don't think about it like that,
mm-mm.
right? We don't think about let's go back to money because that's what we were on.
Yeah.
We don't think about money as the reward,
Right.
right? We think of we justify it as providing,
Yes.
or making sure our bills are paid, or making sure that our kids have what they want, and so on and so forth, right?
Yeah.
But we don't think about the reward that we are getting, right?
Yeah.
As we are giving everything else up for that.
Yes.
You think about like deer hunting.
Mhm.
This is the last weekend of deer season. I think that's all I've heard about at work.
I've definitely gone every day. Don't worry.
You have?
No.
I was like, when did you have time? But at the same time, it's kind of the same issue,
It is.
right? They don't talk about it like the reward, right?
Mhm.
But in the sense of reward, but that's all that they talk about.
Oh,
Right?
yeah.
Like I have to have that next big buck. I have
Oh,
to
yeah.
have that next big deer. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I've had like 6 or 7 guys show me cameras that they've sent out of this
Yes.
buck, and like, I need this buck. I'm like, okay, why?
It-
Like, I mean, I understand, like, you've been
Right.
searching and you've been seeing this one and you really want it,
and there's nothing wrong with hobbies, right?
but
There's no-
it's when it consumes you is the
Right.
issue.
where they spend every day. I was talking to a guy. He's like, I'm gonna hunt all weekend. He said, I'm gonna get up in the morning. He said, I'm gonna take snacks. He said, I'm gonna be gone all day long, every day this weekend until I get a deer. And I thought, man, I mean, and this guy's got little kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he's just gonna leave his wife and little kids at home all weekend. I don't know about you. My wife would break my legs.
Yes, she would find the gun and shoot me with it. I'd be on the wall. Don't worry.
But again, we're not talking about hobbies. There's nothing wrong with hobbies. There's
Right.
nothing wrong with golfing or hunting or it really even working.
No.
There's nothing wrong with any of these things. But the way that you framed it,
Mm.
right? When that reward consumes every thought,
Yes.
right? Every action, right? I'm only doing this to get to the point where I could be out in the deer woods,
Right.
where I'm only making money so I can buy more guns to be out in the deer woods, or whatever else that you need, right? When that consumes your every thought, that reward,
Yeah.
right? Same thing with work, that dollar sign.
Yeah.
I need this much money in the bank, or my kids need this, or they need, as a father of 6, I can promise you your kids don't need the latest of everything.
Right.
They'll survive.
Mine don't get it. They
Mine
get
don't
whatever
either.
hand me down my sister threw back over me.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely not. And
And half the time you're gonna share it. If
That's
it is
exactly right.
nice, you're all gonna get it.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And so but when those rewards consume your thoughts,
Yes.
right? Because really, what does the Bible say about our mind, right? Like our mind should consistently be on God,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And this is the problem. This is what makes it an idol,
Right.
right? This is what makes it an idol when God does not consume our thoughts anymore,
Yes.
right? Well, when He doesn't consume our thoughts, and these things replace God in our thoughts, they're an idol.
Or even in our daily activities. I mean,
Yeah.
when you're going to work early or you're staying at work later, you're taking away that devotional time that you would have usually had, and you're like, I'm just so tired, I can't do it. I mean, I fell into that with this past kid. I was like, I just need to sleep. But there was times where there's not a reason I couldn't do a devotion.
Right.
I was just tired, and I was making an excuse.
Right.
And when we turn those idols into excuses that we then validate to get the reward, then we have the issue.
Right.
It's when we're giving other things our time when we could be giving that time back to God. Even if we're necessarily, there are days you're gonna have to work late.
Right.
We know this. There's days you're gonna have to go in earlier,
Yep.
but you take a different time in that day and still give it back to
That's
God.
right.
It's you're not taking away from Him. It might change every day. You know, some people like Lacey, my wife, she can never get her devotion at the same time every single day, but she still takes time to do a devotion.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about. Is when you completely take that time away to replace it with something else.
Right.
That's when it's an issue.
Yeah. Well, and I want to go back to along with that when that whatever that is consumes your thoughts where you do not have time to think about God.
Yeah.
That's it. That's an issue. Like Deuteronomy talks about, and obviously this is not a quotation, but this is summarization. But
Mm-hmm.
writing on our foreheads, writing on the doorpost, writing scripture, the laws of God, and writing, memorizing them, and all of these things to where they are on our minds all of the time,
Right.
all of the time. That it is something that we consistently think about always, and really at the forefront of our minds,
Mm-hmm.
God should be there.
Oh yeah.
Right. Even when you have to work the overtime, God should be there.
Mm-hmm.
Even when you work early, go to work early, go to work late. You have to work 2 jobs. You're in the deer woods. You are, whatever that is, God should still be there.
Right.
Right. It's when those things replace, when that reward replaces God.
Yes.
Right. He's no longer in your thoughts. He's no longer in your, so your devotions, your prayer time, your all of these, even leading,
Mm-hmm.
spiritually leading,
right
becomes an afterthought.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous place to be.
Oh yes.
Right. Idols have set in, and the reason why I'm glad that we did this episode now is starting off the year this way.
Yeah.
Right. That because here's the thing, we don't 99% of the time we don't consciously make idols.
Mm-mm.
Right. They just happen.
Right.
Life happens, right? You start off working all the extra overtime because you need it. Right. You start off the second job because you need it. And that doesn't mean that, but eventually it consumes your time because that season you stay in for way too long.
Yes.
Right. You stay in that season for way too long, and it will consume your every thought, your every, everything you do will be to make sure that that second job is going, make sure that, the trail cams are out there, the fishing gear is up to date, you have new clubs. I mean, just fill in the blank. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is.
Right.
That God will consistently be in the forefront. So what happens is we just stay in those seasons too long, and then they become idols. And so with us doing this new year, I want us to be in consistent remembrance of, is this an idol for me?
Yes.
Right. And this is for all of us. I'm letting you know right now, there has been seasons where this right here, what we're doing right now, has been an idol for me.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in seasons where church has been an idol for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you would think that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. I know you understand that.
Mm-hmm.
That you're at church, you're supposed to be worshiping God, you're supposed to be doing all this, but it becomes more of a job than it does ministry.
Yeah.
Right. And you can say you're doing ministry and you can feel good about what you're doing and all this stuff, and at the same time, God will not even be in it.
Right. And then we're not talking about staff. We're not talking about those people who is their job to serve. That's different. We're talking about when you are put into a leadership position in church. It's not a paid staff position, and you then take it and you make that the center of all of your attention, where you're given that more time than what your family should be getting. You're given that as your devotional time. You're given that instead of doing, fill in the blanks, whatever it is. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about your job is a paid staff member.
Right.
We're talking about your men's ministry. We're talking about your female ministries. We're talking about, if you're just volunteering, if you're volunteering to serve, those types of stuff. That's what we're talking about. And even those things, they look good.
Right.
I mean, on the outside, it's a phenomenal thing because you're trying to help people reach God.
Right.
And you can validate that in so many different ways.
Right.
But the issue is does it fall in the natural order that God has placed?
Right.
If it doesn't, then that's an idol. It's an issue
Exactly right.
because our God is a God of order, and he has made a very specific order in the Bible where it is him, your family, everything else.
That's right.
And if there's something out of line, I mean, I do that sometimes. My mother-in-law, she keeps me in check, and I listen to her. I mean, there are times where I buck up against her just because I know she's right, and I don't like to be wrong, but just is what it is. Because there are times where Lacey will be home with the kids all day long, and then I'll go directly from work to church to do youth stuff, and then I won't get home till 8 or 9 o'clock at night,
Right.
and I won't see them,
Right.
and that's me putting things above them, and that's not how it should be. That's not how it ever. And it takes time for those changes. Like you're not just gonna automatically just stop
Right.
it all of a sudden. It's gonna take time to take those idols away and to change them and mold them into good things because it didn't. Those idols weren't formed overnight.
Right.
We talked about that. They weren't just something that all of a sudden we just committed ourselves to and we gave our all to, and this is how it works. So these things take time for change, but you have to be able to identify them first, and you have to be able to take that idol, know what it is, and then work on how can I fix it? How can I change it? What can I do in this new year
Yes.
to fall back into the natural order that God has placed? How do I put God, family, everything else underneath it? And if you can't get there, then you need to find somebody to help you get there.
Let's stay there for a minute. You don't want to know why it's so hard to come out of idols sometimes because they're comfortable,
Mm-hmm.
right? You get in these routines. We were just talking about this. I love a routine. But we were talking about
Yeah.
for the podcast. I love a routine. It keeps me going. It keeps me, I set everything I have around a routine. Um, over Christmas and New Year's and stuff, schedules were off and all this stuff, and my routine was way off.
Yeah.
And I remember finding things that I was like, oh, I was supposed to do this morning. Oh, I was supposed to do, and like where I don't normally have a problem doing those,
Right.
because they're in a routine. Now I'm like, what I'm lost.
Yeah.
You
What do
know
I
what mean?
do?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And even routines can be an idol at times. But the fact that we are comfortable in those things, right? This is what makes it hard to come out of.
Oh yeah.
A lot of guys who deal with pornography
Mm-hmm.
or lust issues and different things like that, they could be doing so good. And when times get difficult, they'll fall back into it. Not because they necessarily want to, but because it's comfortable for them.
Yes.
Right. And really, it's the same with any other idol.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's almost, and this sounds terrible, but I don't even know how else to say it. But it's almost like a safe place.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it's not a safe place necessarily, but I mean, we've all been there, right?
Yes.
Those routines, those things that we hold as idols, they become comfortable for us.
Yes.
Right? When you work all the time, and then you trying to switch to coming home to your kids, right?
Oh, yeah.
All the time, that's not comfortable,
Mm-mm.
right?
No.
Having to hear the kids fight and scream, and like I said, my youngest one. Sometimes I'm like, your very voice is getting on my nerves.
Right. I love you, but get away from me.
Exactly. And it's not because I don't love him, not because you're right, but because
Right.
it's not comfortable for me.
Right.
Right.
It's out of your normal.
Right. That's exactly right. This is not my normal. And so when those idols become normal, right, and you try to break them, you try to come out of those, you try to be obedient to the Lord, it is not comfortable.
No.
Right. But here's the thing. This is what we have to understand. Growth is never comfortable.
Nope. Mm-mm.
You can have growth or you can have comfortability. You can't have both.
No.
Right.
You
And
can't.
so if you're going to grow in the Lord, if you're going to all of those things, you have to become uncomfortable.
Yeah. Lacey and I were talking about that last night, actually, before we went to bed. She was talking about some things, some feelings. And I said, the Lord never wants you to be comfortable. I said, because then he can't grow you. I said, you have to be uncomfortable for growth. And she was like, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I said, well, that's just too daggum bad. But it's so true. It's God wants us in the seasons where he can grow us the most. He wants us growing into the next season. And sometimes and we're not saying that every season is going to be uncomfortable in your life. Sometimes he will shower you with blessings in that season because he's making you have preparations for the next season. Not every season is hard, but what we're saying is you should be willing to be uncomfortable so that you can grow,
Right.
not so tied to your normalcy, tied to the idols that you don't want to be uncomfortable, that you don't want to grow, that you want to stay in your complacency stage. You want to be able to be stripped down, removed, whatever is needed to grow.
That's right.
Uncomfortableness is something that should be a normal for most people.
That's right.
And if you are uncomfortable by not being comfortable, then that's an issue. If that makes
Right.
sense, you got to follow that.
Yeah.
You may have to rewind and listen to me say that again. But if you are uncomfortable with being uncomfortable, that's an issue.
Yeah. You know, and here's another thing. So this is the importance of having other people in your life, right? This is the importance of Lacey having you as a husband, right? You having Lacey as a wife, me having Dusty as a wife, right? Because one, when you're able to be real with each other,
Yeah.
right? When you're able to be like, listen, you're just gonna have to be uncomfortable. I know the season sucks,
Yeah.
but we're in this together,
Right.
right?
Yes.
You don't have to go through this alone.
Yep.
Right. This is for the betterment of everything.
Right.
For your spirituality, for the family, for me as a leader, right? All of these different things. And this is also the importance of having other men in your life.
Exactly. Yes.
Right. That you can be like, okay, this is uncomfortable for me. And other guys can be like, okay, but you don't have to go through this by yourself.
Right.
Right. Coming out of, let's use examples of like pornography or lust. A lot of times your wife cannot really help. And the reason why, because she cannot understand.
Yes.
Right. And so having an accountability partner, a person who's like, okay, I see you where you're at. I still love you.
Right.
You need change. And I'm going to walk with you through this.
Yes.
Yep. Right. I am going to walk, and really, it's not even just pornography. It's anything, right?
Yep.
Anytime you're moving from a comfortable season, which comfortability is not all by itself, but from a comfortable season to a uncomfortable season, it is a period of growth.
Right.
It's hard.
Yep.
Right. Anything that is uncomfortable is hard.
Yeah.
It could be strenuous. It could be weighty, all of this stuff. And when you have somebody that comes along beside you and is like, hey, let me help you carry that. Right.
Yeah.
Let me be the sounding board for you. Let me, whatever I can do to help you get through this season, because I love you. And I know that this season is going to produce growth in you spiritually. Right. Those people are so important in our lives.
Yes.
They're so important in our lives. For you, your mother-in-law.
Oh yeah.
You were just talking about her.
The lovely lady she is. I'm telling you. She's mean to me sometimes. Calls me out of my crap. I'm kidding. She's great.
She is great. And but for men's ministry, right? For us to hold each other up, to hold each other accountable, right? To be like, hey, stop being a flipping baby about this and grow up, right?
Yes.
I mean, I've had to have that conversation with people sometimes also, but you know what it takes in order to have that conversation? Relationship.
Yes.
Right. That relationship, you can't just show up in somebody's lives and be like, stop being a baby. They're probably going to punch you in the face.
True.
Or, they're just not, at the very least, they're just not going to listen to you.
Yes.
But the relationships that are built in men's ministry, in those types of things, those relationships, when they hear you say things like, stop being a baby, suck it up, you can do this, right? They trust that.
Yes.
Right? Because that relationship is already built. We need those people in our lives. I talk all the time. I say this consistently.
All the time.
About
Sorry. couldn't help it.
It's true. I do like to talk. That's the reason why we podcast. But having a Paul, a Timothy, and a Silas in your
Mhm.
life, right? This is the reason. This is one of the many reasons is why that is so important. You need a Paul in your life that is going to be like, hey, stop it.
Right.
Quit being a baby. Get up and move on like you're supposed to,
Yes.
right? Or you need a Silas that is a friend that's like, hey, let's go.
Yes.
I'm going to walk with you through this. Right?
Yeah.
That person's different than your Paul,
Yes.
right? And then of course that Timothy that you have to be better for.
Yeah.
You have to become a better person, a better leader for them to
Yes.
help them become better.
Yes. And one of the best things is this. If you don't have that person, one, you can find that person, but two, everybody has access to the Son. Everybody has access to God. So in any season that you are in, he is willing to take those burdens and bear them for you. Isaiah 46:4 says this, I will be the same until your old age, and I will bear you up when you turn gray. I have made you, and I will carry you. I will bear and rescue you. And the best thing about any season of uncomfortableness is that we can take all of our feelings, the angry feelings, the sad feelings, the pent up aggression that you have in some seasons, the gratefulness, the thankfulness, the whole spectrum of feelings is you can take that and you can be real with God.
Mm-hmm.
You can give that to him, and he is big enough to carry everything for you. And there are many times that there are, the devil. I was talking to a guy the other day, and he texts me and he goes, he has stepped back from ministry for a little bit because he needs to focus on himself. And he goes, I just feel bad that I let people down. He said, I feel bad, getting all these shameful feelings. And I said, those are not feelings of the Lord. Those are feelings of the devil that the devil has put in your mind, because the God that we serve will never talk down to us. He will only lift us up. He will only take us into the next season. And I said, when you go into a season with God, he is constantly lifting you up, not tearing you down, because he is helping you carry the weight. He's not weighing you down.
That's right.
And, in any season that you're in, if you don't have that person yet, you always have access to God, who is going to, sometimes it's easier to talk to somebody face to face.
Yes.
But the best part about God is that he wants to have that relationship with you. He wants to have that conversation with you. He wants you to take those things to you, like my mother-in-law. I trust her so much when she says things, because when she talks to God, he talks back.
Mm-hmm.
They literally commune back and forth. She goes, when I'm in my devotional time, I take it so seriously. It's almost like I'm talking to my friend.
Right.
And it's taken her years to get there. It wasn't overnight. But that's why I trust her so much, is because I know she hears from the Lord. I know she talks to the Lord, and in those situations, yes, you want somebody in front of you to talk to. It's just easier. Let's be honest. But we always have that person when we don't have access to right then and there, to go into the bathroom, to go into a closet, to go into your room, to, remove yourself from wherever you're at and say, God, this is hard right now.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to go do blah, 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 whatever it is. I need your help.
Yeah.
And he is willing and ready to take that from you.
Yes. Yes. And he's a big guy. You know how many times I was sitting here thinking about this while you were talking? How many times I'm like, I'm not going to bother God with that. Like, he's not big enough to,
Right.
Like he's not all powerful or all knowing, or,
Right.
Now
he may say sometimes, like, God, Anthony's voice is annoying.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But I mean, how often do we do that? It's like,
I do it all the time. Like,
yeah.
it's all right, God, I can do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And that's the issue.
Right.
That's
that is
the
the
issue.
Yeah, I've got this.
But you don't.
Mm,
We don't. Because, and here's the thing, is
I butchered so bad.
we have the moment, but we don't have the future.
Right.
And that's the issue, is he holds the future. He knows the next step. He knows what the next season holds. I'll put it like this. So Lacey and I said this very specific prayer. This was years ago. And it was like just one of those random prayers. When I was a kid, I wanted a specific truck with a specific body and it was only because it was the back end of the truck I loved it. Okay. Never got that truck. Never did. And then we were still lived at the old house 3 or 4 years ago. We were talking to each other, and we're like, we got to get a new vehicle. And Lacey goes, well, maybe somebody will just give us a vehicle. They'll just say, here you go, here's the keys to this vehicle, and go on. That didn't happen. Okay. And then about 3 months ago, my grandfather comes to me, and I had to borrow his truck for I don't know how long because our bus decided to take a hit and
Yeah.
not do what it was supposed to be doing. Then all of a sudden, he comes to me one day and he goes, "Why don't you just have it?" And I said, "What?" He was like, "Why don't you just take it?" He goes, "I'm not going to use it." So he goes, "You just have it." He goes, "We'll just gift it to you. We'll sign the title over to you." And I looked at Lacey and I said, "It was the exact truck that I wanted as a kid, and somebody gave it to us." And no, it wasn't in our timing.
Right.
It wasn't anywhere, but he combined something that I prayed when I was like 14 or 15. I mean,
Right.
it was probably 15 because I was going to turn 16. So I was looking at cars 15 to something that when we are married, like
Mhm.
we're looking in the moment, but he's looking at the future.
Right.
And every single time he's going to show up, and it may not be how you think about it, because when we were asking for a vehicle, it was not a 2001 truck.
Right.
It was like this long Chevy Suburban with everything else.
Right.
But he cares enough about the small things, about the tiny details, that nothing is too small and nothing is too big that he won't take into
Yeah.
consideration, that he will not help you with, that you can't take something to him.
Yeah. And that's, man, that's so good. It's true. And we treat him like he's just. I don't think I mean, I do this all the time, and so, but I don't think about it like that. Like, I'm not thinking about like, he's not big enough necessarily.
Right.
It's like my problems are so minute that he shouldn't have to worry about them.
Right. Yeah.
Right. But he does.
Oh yeah.
Those things he does care. He cares about all. He knows how many hairs are on my head.
Yeah.
Right.
Not many.
And no, I've got a whole head of hair. What are you talking about, bro?
Oh, sorry, that's me. My bad. You just wait. I talked to a lady about a toupee. I'm gonna come in with so many hairs. Sorry.
That's great.
Off topic.
That's funny. On that note, we're gonna go ahead and land this plane. And but seriously, as we go into this new year, I want you to think about: are the things that I'm doing an idol?
Yeah.
Is my job an idol? Is my family an idol? Is my hobbies, are they idols? Have I put this before God? Like I really want, and it's something that you have to consistently ask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't become idols instantly, right? Some things can, but
Yeah.
if they don't, then when they become an idol, it's when you have to be like, okay, I've got to step away from this.
Yes.
Right. I need to slow down in this. Obviously, you can't step away from work. You've got to be able to work, but you can slow. You can not work so much overtime. You can
Yes.
spend more time with your family. You can, all these different things. You don't necessarily need the extra job,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. But to consistently ask yourself, is this an idol? Lord, am I putting this before you?
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that, to be able to be confident enough and be like, okay, I need to find people that will help me through this.
Yep.
Right. Um, this is going to be a very uncomfortable move for me.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it is sin. Maybe it is something like lust or pornography or, those types of things. Find people, find men in your lives,
Mm-hmm.
or women, like your Paul really is your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
She really is, which is a really good one because she's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But to find people in your life to pour into you that can help you, that you give permission to be like, hey, stop being a baby, get up, let's go, right? That can do that from love. Find people in your life that will help you through these tough seasons.
Yeah.
It's God did not give us other people on accident. They are tools to help us to be successful in the kingdom of God.
Yes.
Right. Other people are part of that process.
Mm-hmm.
And so find people, find, I can't say it enough. Find people in your life to help you. And, consistently ask yourself, is this an idol?
Mm-hmm.
And then be honest about it. If it is, you're going to start working your way out of it.
Yep.
And so know that God loves you, right? He's for you. He wants to see you succeed. He wants to see you come out of those idols. He wants to see you further the kingdom of God. He wants to use you. He wants you to be that leader.
Yeah.
And know that if you got any questions for us, you can email us, realmen@palaceofpraise.com. You can message us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that good jazz. And we would love to hear from you.
Yes.
And we would love to pray with you. We would love to, you know, whatever we can do to help you in your spiritual walk in any way. We would love to be there for you.
Yeah.
And so, as always, I want to enter into prayer. Holy Spirit, thank you. Thank you for the listeners, to every man that will listen to this episode, God. Lord, I ask you, Lord, to come into their lives, Lord, and help them to sift out those idols, Lord, that they will center themselves upon you and upon your word, Lord, that they will become the leaders, Lord, that you have called them to be, that they will be the men, Lord, that you have called them to be, the fathers, the husbands, Lord, that you will just pour your spirit upon them, anoint them, Lord, for this time. Lord, we ask you to just continue to help them grow as spiritual leaders, and help us, Lord, as leaders to continue to grow. Give you all the glory and all the praise in Jesus' name. Amen.
You've been listening to Real Men Talk. If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email, realmen@palaceofpraise.com, or visit our website at realmenministries.us. You can also message us through social media. If you're a man age 16 and up and would like to be a part of the conversation, join us at the Palace of Praise every Thursday night at 6:30 p.m. If you don't have a home church, consider joining us for worship on Sundays at 10:30 a.m. and 6 p.m. Palace of Praise is located at 1400 Herschel Best Boulevard in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. New episodes of Real Men Talk drop every Thursday at 5 p.m. on all major podcast platforms. You can also find us on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, X, and Facebook. Real Men Talk is a production of Real Men Studios in cooperation with Palace Media Services.